Fine, I will call him. They said while sitting on the sofa again and grabbed his phone and dialed Jungkook's number, but he didn't answer his call. He didn't answer. They said, call again. Insu said and Taeyoung did, as he said, but again, with no response. They tried 2-3 times, but no answered. Taeyoung signed and put his phone on the table again. While Insu started doubting where Jungkook could be or whom, he was a smart boy, so he knew that Jungkook must be some other girls. That's why he didn't answer Taeyoung's call. He looked at his bestie and felt bad. He sat beside him and took his hand in his. They looked at him questioningly. He must be some other girl. He uttered, thinking for a second, and they was jerk his hand away. He's with Alex. He told me. They said offended. If he was, then I at least considered telling you that he was going to be late. But no, he didn't. So now he answered your calls. Insu said, and they stood up. Insu, mine and Cook's relationship is going too well. I know he won't lie to me. They tried to reassure Insu, but Insu shook his head and gave their smile. Open your eyes, or else you'll lose everything, Insu said, and stood up to go. Hey, where are you going? They asked, ignoring that mime, which was screaming. Dad said, might be, Insu was right. I can't just sit here and see my best friend restless. Anyway, I'm going to my brother's room. He told me he needs some work, and I'll just back after that. He said and left while they sat there thinking about what Insu said. Jungkook up to a big day, almost at night, when they saw the missed calls and reminded that he's supposed to pick that day. He excused himself and drove off. They come out, running after he thanked Insu and his mother for dinner. You're late, he said in a low tone as he sat in the car. Sorry, he gave him an apology look and they shrugged and returned him a smile. They came to home, no one was there to be seen. I think they all went to their room. It was 9:30 now. They said, when he saw Jungkook was looking here and there, and he noted. They told him that Jimin called him, and he told him that they both were going for the dinner. Jungkook was really happy to hear that. They saved him from his family word. If they thought it would be, they won't say anything to him. Do you have any painkillers? My head is paining, he said while they turned to walk toward the room. What happened? They asked, coming closer to him, but immediately took a step back. He smelled something awful. His eyes was pointed, and he realized what smell it could be. Cook, you drunk? They whispered in disbelief. No, it's just 2 shots, he said while walking toward the room while holding his head. They looked at him for the first time. For a mere second, he felt disgust, but his love immediately replaced his disgust feeling. When he saw Jungkook holding his head in pain, they ran in the kitchen and took that painkiller and glass of water and come to his room, who was just holding his head in his hand. Here, they said, and he looked at him and took the tablet immediately. They silently stood there for a few minutes. It's not good, they uttered. I know, Jungkook said and put the glass on the tray again. After taking the tablet, they realized that Jungkook was not in a condition to take this advice in a positive way. Okay, good night, they said and was about to go, but Jungkook stopped there holding his wrist. They turned to look at him and saw him coming in front of him and took that tray with their hand and put it on the side table. Don't go, he whispered while hugging Tae and struggled in his neck. Taeyoung's body was stiff. He stood there froze, didn't know what to do. But when Jungkook pulled him and his eyes were winded, that they started struggling. Cook, leave me, they said while continuously struggling. No, he said while pushing them on the bed, and before they know, he came on top of him. They was looking at him in shock. His body would start shaking with fear. He knew that Jungkook was not in his sense, and he couldn't scream for the sake of his love. Taeyoung was sitting on the floor next to the bed, heading his knees while weeping continuously. Jungkook was sleeping peacefully on the bed. They look at him and again start crying loudly, putting his head on his mouth. He holds the sob. Taeyoung couldn't believe that what happened an hour ago, how Jungkook lost his control and forced him. He was not that wrong, and they know that, but still, he did this. He gathered himself and stood up, wiping his tear. He went to Jungkook's side and covered his shirtless body. They looked at him still in disbelief. That he was his cook, whom he loved with all that horrible things to him. They turned and ran to the room. Where they entered his room, he went directly to his bathroom. After taking a shower, he changed into a comfortable cloth and looked at himself in the mirror. They saw a lot of hickeys on his neck and his shoulder and collarbone and a handprint on his wrist. They sat on the bed and started thinking about what happened an hour ago. Flashback. Jungkook pushed Tae on the bed, and before he could do anything, he got on top of him. They were shocked for a moment, but when he saw Jungkook coming closer to his face and turned to the other side and started struggling. "Cook, what are you doing?" They said, "Are you trying to free himself?" "What do you think I'm doing?" he whispered and started kissing his side face. "Cook, let me go, you're drunk." They continuously struggled, but Jungkook didn't bug. "No, I'm not. I know what I am doing," he said. While kissing his jawline, he went and nuzzled his face in his neck, making Tae shiver. Jungkook knew what he was doing, but still, he didn't want to stop himself. He didn't know why, but he was behaving like the desperate for Tae. He only knew that he wanted Tae, his beauty, his innocence, his crazy love for him. Even now, Tae can scream for help, but he was not doing because he knew if he does, then it affects Jungkook's image, and they make him more crazy for him. "Cook, please don't do this," he said while pushing Tae, which made him angry. He held his both hands above his head and looked down at him, who was shaking before crashing his lips on him. He started kissing him roughly, and Taeyoung's tears would start falling. He left his lips and went down, placing a kiss on his throat. They bite on his lips and hold his scream. He bit his neck and whimpered except his mouth. "Tae, you're making me crazy," he whispered in his neck and again bite him. He slipped his dress from down to his shoulder and kissed him all over. "Cook, please don't do this," they said while sobbing. He fell for rising and hearing his cry. "They stop this damn crying," he said. "I'm all right. I'm your husband and it's your duty to fulfill your husband's needs and desires," he said on facing him loudly, making that they glow in fear. "You have all right, but Cook, it's not right now." Jungkook didn't let him finish his sentence.